On the surface, Bernard L. Madoff was a Wall Street legend, a quiet, respected financier who built one of the most successful investment firms in New York. He was a former NASDAQ chairman, admired by elites and trusted by thousands. But behind the elegant suits and calm demeanor was a man hiding a secret so massive, it would shatter the financial world. This is how the empire of deception began. Madoff's success wasn't built overnight, it was built on trust. From country clubs in Palm Beach to boardrooms in Manhattan, investors begged him to take their money. His secretive approach only made him more desirable. There were no flashy ads or pitches. Just quiet referrals, whispered recommendations, and a handshake that felt like a golden ticket. Madoff didn't accept just anyone. That was the genius of the con, he made his fund seem like an exclusive club. If you got in, you were special. People felt honored just to be invited. There were waiting lists, secret referrals, and whispers about his too-good-to-be-true returns. But the truth was, the secrecy wasn't to protect a strategy, it was to hide the fraud. For years, Madoff reported steady, positive returns, even when the markets crashed. His clients saw 10% to 12% annual gains, rain or shine. There were no dips, no volatility. Financial professionals raised eyebrows, but most stayed silent. To question Madoff was to question success itself. And nobody wanted to ruin a good thing, especially when the money kept flowing. Behind Madoff's success were the feeder funds, wealth managers, hedge funds, and financial advisors who funneled billions into his hands. Many never questioned how he did it. They took their cut and passed along the illusion. Madoff wasn't just defrauding individuals, he had built a pipeline that tapped into the world's financial elite, with no one daring to trace its source. While investors believed their money was being traded on Wall Street, the reality was far darker. Madoff's operation had no real trading activity. On the 17th floor of the Lipstick Building in Manhattan, fake trade confirmations were printed and mailed daily. There were no actual investments, just carefully crafted lies generated by aging matrix printers in a backroom of deception. While the fraud churned behind closed doors, Madoff lived like royalty. He owned a $7 million Manhattan penthouse, a beachfront estate in the Hamptons, and a luxurious Palm Beach mansion. He sailed a 55-foot yacht named Bull, a nod to the ever-rising market he pretended to master. To the world, he was the picture of success, his lifestyle hiding the cracks in his empire. Madoff's scheme wasn't run by strangers, it was powered by trust, even within his own family. His sons, Mark and Andrew, worked at the firm. His brother Peter was the company's chief compliance officer. Clients believed that with family at the helm, integrity was guaranteed. But they didn't know the family was sitting on a ticking time bomb of lies. Even as the returns rolled in, not everyone was fooled. A handful of analysts and financial insiders questioned how Madoff's strategy could consistently beat the market. But every time doubts were raised, they were drowned out by money, influence, and fear. On Wall Street, speaking against Bernie was like speaking against gravity, dangerous and ignored. By the mid-2000s, Madoff's fund claimed to manage nearly $50 billion. The numbers were staggering, so clean, so perfect, that many saw them as genius. But there were no real trades, no stocks, no assets. Every dollar paid out was just someone else's investment. It was a shell game on a colossal scale, and somehow, no one had caught him, yet. In 2008, the global financial crisis hit. As markets collapsed, investors rushed to pull their money. But Madoff didn't have it. He had used new investor funds to pay the old. For the first time in decades, the machine began to stall. Desperate redemption requests poured in, and the cracks in the illusion started to widen. On December 10, 2008, Madoff gathered his sons and made a chilling admission: it was all a lie. "It's one big Ponzi scheme," he told them. "The billions, the investments, the profits, they were fiction." His sons, stunned and devastated, contacted their lawyers. Within 24 hours, Bernie Madoff, the king of Wall Street, was turned in by his own family. On December 11, 2008, FBI agents arrived at Madoff's penthouse. He opened the door in silence and confessed instantly. There was no fight, no denial, just a calm surrender. He was handcuffed in his $7 million Manhattan home, still wearing his slippers. The man who deceived the world for decades left in the back of an unmarked car, as the media storm began to build. News of Madoff's arrest sent shockwaves through the global financial world. Billionaires, charities, banks, and pensioners alike realized they had been duped. Some lost fortunes, others lost everything. Lives were shattered in an instant. The media erupted, investors panicked, and the question on everyone's lips was the same: how could no one have seen it coming? Bernie Madoff was sentenced to 150 years in prison, a lifetime behind bars for a lifetime of deceit. The scandal led to new regulations and a warning to the financial world: never blindly trust, always verify. His victims still seek justice and recovery. And the story of the biggest Ponzi scheme in history remains a chilling lesson on greed and betrayal. As the scandal unraveled, victims formed coalitions to reclaim their lost fortunes. Lawsuits piled up against Madoff's estate, his family, and the feeder funds that funneled money into the scheme. For many, it was a bitter battle, not just for money, but for justice and closure. The Madoff scandal exposed major flaws in financial oversight. In response, regulators tightened rules and increased scrutiny of investment firms. New safeguards aimed to prevent such massive frauds, but experts warned that no system is foolproof. The fallout devastated not only investors but also Madoff's own family. Mark and Andrew Madoff struggled with the shame and consequences, both tragically taking their own lives years later. The Madoff name became synonymous with betrayal and tragedy. Madoff's scheme inspired books, documentaries, and films. It became a cultural touchstone, a cautionary tale about greed, trust, and the dangers lurking beneath the surface of wealth. The story reminded the world that no one is immune to fraud. The biggest Ponzi scheme in history left an indelible mark on finance and society. It taught investors to question, to dig deeper, and to be vigilant. Bernie Madoff's legacy is a stark reminder: in the world of money, if it seems too good to be true, it probably is. The Bernie Madoff scandal forever changed the way the world views finance and trust. It's a chilling reminder that even the most respected faces can hide the darkest secrets. As investors, the lesson is clear: always question, always verify, and never let greed cloud your judgment. If this story fascinated you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more deep dives into the biggest financial crimes and scandals. Stay vigilant, stay informed.